talk about two scenarios. In fact, I liked all the topics. I was just thinking as to what I should be covering. So there are about 4 or 5 ideas. Now I am talking only two. One is COVID, and another is COVID. Everybody has faced the thing. I will explain as to how we handled COVID. In fact, it was unique, we thought, at that point in time. Second is there is something which happened to the industry called NTO, new tariff regime which came about, which changed the business model of our industry, which is pay TV industry. The first one I still remember, it was I think 7th or 8th of March, when there was a lot of discussion happening. We were having our leadership meeting, and there was news happening that there could be a potential lockdown. Sometime later it could happen and all those things. Suddenly, my managing director said, "What happens if there is a full lockdown?" Then we are looking at each other. What happens in full lockdown means what? We don't know what happens, right? So, okay, let us imagine, right? And then we did a kind of a brainstorming, and we said, okay, this is what we will do, because we have got our technology center, we have got our IT center, we have got our data center, we got this. We did a proper Excel sheet. All of us sat together in a room for about a full day, and we said, okay, agar lockdown ho gaya to, let us activate this sheet. Otherwise, no. So that happened to be a genius move. Yeah, so 8:30 on the 21st or 22nd of March, my MD calls me, Excel sheet activate. That's it. So we were actually fully ready. So much so, our audit date was 8th of April, which was also, we were ready on 8th of April, despite COVID in that year. Very good. We didn't have to do BCP. Every other company I know, they activated BCP. We did not have to activate BCP, though we had a BCP. Because BCP was done based on a scenario imagination. So we can say luck or we can say genius of the MD, but we were fully prepared like no other company. So we did not have a single, what you can say, doubt as to, we knew, because there is a technology center which has to work 24/7. We identified who are the people who will be there, what sort of we need to arrange for food arrangement. Everything was done, including purchase of the squads and everything was done and kept ready. We had invested that money in that intervening period and kept everything ready so that you can start.
You were just in time for that eventuality.
So which was very, I would say, so that taught me a good lesson, saying that you need to reimagine things on a daily basis. So we are always on the lookout of what can go wrong. Yeah, we are talking at the same time. Absolutely. So we are always on the lookout for what can go wrong. So every other day I keep asking what can go wrong. So I know
the defense army says, right, prepare for the worst and expect the best.
Hope for the best. So that has helped us in good stead over the last so many years. And I would say that many of the disasters which could have happened, which could have been a reactive scenario, we were kind of, I would say not 100% ready, but at least we were 70-60% ready. So that the delta we have to cover when that scenario happened was less. So which made life a little bit easier for all of us. So that is one big lesson for us. So what can go wrong, you have to keep looking for. In fact, yesterday also I was having a conversation with my controller saying that you have to always be on the lookout for what will go wrong. Because there was one event which happened which were not expected. Something happened. I said, you should have anticipated it, right? That's what our job is. It's not your job to come back and tell me this has gone wrong. Why did we not think about this scenario? This could have been a possibility. Just because something has not happened does not mean that it will never happen. So we are here to put some imaginary situations in mind. So in fact, based on those lessons, normally what we have is in the board meeting, we generally go and present a business plan, right? This time we said that we will not call it plan, we will not call it business plan, we will call it scenarios and we will call it projections. So we said A, B, C, 3 scenarios for various things. For example, impairment testing with the auditors, we have to give a plan. And they will do the DCF method and say, okay, whether impairment, whether you have headroom and all those things. We said, no, this time we are not going to give you a plan. We will give you scenarios. You assign probabilities on each scenario. Yeah. There is an optimistic, there is a pessimistic, there is a realistic. These are the 3 scenarios. Now you tell me whether there is a need for impairment or not. Huh? No. That is, I was expecting that, but they were okay to see the merit of all these things. Yeah. No, but this is a new way of approaching the business itself, because first time I am seeing Because this is the need of the hour. Because I can't predict what is going to happen in 5 years' time. 2031, what my revenue is going to be, what my P&L is going to look like. Why am I sitting and doing now? And how am I supposed to predict when everything is changing, right? So these are the two thoughts I thought were very relevant. One is, if you can imagine what can go wrong and make it as part of your day-to-day activities, you will be slightly better prepared than others. Second is that multiple scenarios, assign probabilities, then possibly somewhere in between things will happen. Then your life becomes a little simpler.
But as I hear you, I can't help think
Yeah.
that there is a DNA of Tata
Yeah.
that somewhere plays, and so much it matters.
Yes.
The virtues of the company
Yeah.
would allow you this a zone where you could be lack of better word. You very focused on a particular value, and which is about, let's say, care or conservation or whatever that is, and that single linear one point agenda
Correct.
helps everything else like a jigsaw fall into place.
Correct.
And there are organizations which in their DNA probably do not have that a strong overwhelming value.
Correct.
Or B, even if they have, there is not so much force of alignment with that value. So then everybody wants to take a chance. They're saying, this is an imperfect world, we could be just 60-40 okay and go with it. But Tata would say, let's just sit and look optimistic, pessimistic and realistic.
Correct.
You need to have, it's not just said, it's not
It's
the
3 times
Excel
work,
sheet.
right? Because you have to put 3 times different assumptions. We have to put for every line item.
And the dollar behind it.
Yeah, every line item you have to do.
You have to have the support and sponsorship to be able to create. And I think there is where stories start looking different. Not just the intention of wanting to create so many scenarios, but is the DNA allowing you to, is the organization's virtues around it?
Yeah, no, this is the first time in the last 13 years I have prepared scenarios rather than plan. Because typically what we do, we prepare a plan and we create another slide called sensitivities to the plan. So now instead of one plan with multiple sensitivities, is multiple scenarios and with sensitivities for each scenario. So this basically it's a slightly it's a fork and fork and fork, multiple forks, right? So there are so many these things. So
very good, very interesting.
Notice nowadays is you used to have the chief risk officer kind of modeling a lot of these different kind of things and doing it. Today it's become, like you're pointing out, a lot more collaborative. Because one function, one individual just can't do it. So to your point, whether it's a 20% that you want to kind of carve out or what you want to do, and I think just coming together and putting stuff through, you do have it still, but I think now you need to be looking at a lot of those low probabilities actually becoming a reality, which earlier we never bothered much about. Oh, this is low impact, low probability, we'll kind of let it pass. But now the low probability, high impact ones that you would look at, you do kind of, delve in, make your playbooks on those. Yeah.
Now we have a ERM document which has a total of 57 risks. And out of which we have a risk scoring methodology which is very interesting actually, like probability of an event happening and the materiality of the amount which can be impacted. So you give score of 1 to 5, it is a highly probable event, it is 5, and low probable event is 1, and highly material event is 5, and this thing, and you have a risk score which is a product of these two. And anything more than 10, we say it is a critical risk. So 0 to 4 is low, product I'm saying, and 0 to 5 and 6 to 10 and 11 to 25 is critical. So we don't call it scientific, we are near scientific way of calculating this, and this numbering and everything is done collaboratively. Each and every function is involved for their respective technology risk or cyber risk. Full 360, and this is done rigorously and it is presented to the board.